Revenge may be the theme for tonight as Home United look to avenge a 2-1 defeat here at the Jalan Besar Stadium against Albirex Niigata in the 2013 S-League season.
Already been played this week. First up on a sweltering afternoon, much like today's, at Pasir Gudang, the Tanjung Pagar defence suffered nerves, allowing Harimau Muda to score an upset as they put 3 goals past the Jaguars.
Very different conditions at Hougang Stadium, a wet pitch. The Cheetahs made it their 4th consecutive win on home ground with a 2-1 victory over Brunei DPMM.
And Balestier Khalsa was on the way to collecting 3 points when Geylang struck late in the game. A 7th goal of the season by Joseph Kaplan in the 86th minute, even the game to a 2-2 draw. Let's take a look at how those results have affected the table. Tampines still with a 5-point lead, and currently only Albirex is keeping pace with the defending champions. Tanjung Pagar temporarily derailed by their loss to Harimau Muda.
Looking a bit further down, Home United and Brunei remain in 4th and 5th. Balestier have moved up to 6th, but it's nice and tight in that mid-area.
Let's look at the second half of the table now. Harimau Muda and Hougang are up to 7th and 8th, but Woodlands move down into 9th with a chance to climb up, though, if they win against Harimau Muda on Sunday.
Geylang are in 10th, Warriors in 11th, but have only played 11 matches, so they do have a chance to catch up with the rest. Courts Young Lions still without any points after 12 matches.
Very interesting game, as Rafi mentioned, so you can see the players coming out now. It is going to be a true battle that we see here at Jalan Besar Stadium. Here, the players out on the pitch with a fair play anthem going on, to a rousing applause from the crowd here at Jalan Besar today. The nice weather has obviously made for lovely conditions for the crowd to come out in full attendance. Now we're going to cross over and join our commentary team, who've doubled up today. It's Rafi Ali, joined by Shazad Haq.
Thanks very much, Kelly. Yes, it's me and Rafi in the commentary box this evening. Rafi, you were saying that this has a potential to be a very exciting match. We've spoken about Lee Kuan Woo and what he brings to the table. And certainly he'd be someone that Albirex will be paying special attention to tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Albirex has done their homework and keeping an eye on him. And I think what the coach will tell their players to keep him in check and do not give him a lot of time on the football.
Well, we look at the Home United lineup. The big news, of course, is that Firdaus Idros is suspended, and well, big loss for you. I mean, he's an entertaining player, isn't he?
Yeah, I like to watch him play. You know, he looks like a small boy on the pitch, but he's very, very fast. And one thing I like about him is when he's got the ball, especially when he's got 1-versus-1 situation with the defenders, he's not shy in taking on the defenders. I mean, that's like, you know, I like to see those kind of plays.
Also on the bench, Indra Sadan Dawood, who will play a part, we think. And an interesting lineup here, which you don't think might necessarily happen.
I've never seen Masrizan play a striker before, but who knows today?
Yes, Serena Kamara as centre-back, also an interesting choice. But we'll see what happens. This 4-5-1 formation given to us by the teams, but Leland was saying might be playing a few tricks with us.
Yeah, probably.
Well, let's take a look at the opposition today. Albirex Niigata. Well, they've got some talented players, of course. Keep a lookout for Bruno Castanera. And, of course, Kazuki Sakamoto, 6 goals to his name. He's been fantastic for them.
Yeah, he's also one of the best players there. And he's also the kind of player who makes the thing tick, because he likes to come back and take the ball. And when he comes into the midfield, he always created space for the rest of the players. So they have got this good combination, Kazuki and Kento up there. And Sasaki at number 8, he's a good player who holds the ball well and passes the ball well. Interesting, of course, last week we saw a couple of goalkeeping mistakes by Hiroki Hara. He's been dropped to the bench. Kenjiro Ogino takes that spot, and he's a 22-year-old compared to the 35-year-old Hara. So let's see if youth makes any difference for this match. Albirex wearing purple and white. Going from right to left, the opposite direction. Home United in red, in all white rather. Albirex Niigata. Of course, one thing we do know about Albirex, they love playing that possession game, don't they, Rafi? Yeah, they like to take their time, keep the ball, possession. And one thing about them that I noticed that if they could have, you know, if they can change a little bit, then when they win the ball, especially in midfield, to go forward quicker, they will get more results and more goals.
Well, just quickly looking at the lineup there, it does look like Srina Kamara is a centre-back, and he's so effective on that left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see if Masreswan is indeed playing up front. What do you feel about the coach rotating players like this and playing out of position?
I mean, as a striker, Masreswan is no stranger to that position. He has played that position before, you know, when he was in Geylang. But I think the coach knows the players well, and Masreswan is a very versatile player. He can play anywhere. So I think to have all these kind of players in his squad, he's got the luxury to switch them, and then maybe give some problem to the opponent, because they wouldn't know who's going to be playing. And it looks like he's playing as a striker.
Yeah, let's see how that pans out. Of course, Masreswan was a striker with Geylang, and then he moved across and then started playing right back, I recall. Various different roles. So let's see if he can cope.
Looks like Home United is going, you know, it's very, very attacking formation today. And they're going with 2 forward up front.
It's a corner here. Early doors for Albrecht Nagata. A chance here to make some inroads, perhaps, for the Japanese side, but you've got to get it past the first man. Always disappointing when you see corners like that.
Yeah, but with this pitch, it's not easy for them, you know, because it's really flat and there's no, you can't dig the ball. So we need to have really, really good technique to have that corner kick in.
Yes, in the match, of course, that these two sides played a few months ago, it was Home United who absolutely dominated. Albrecht's unconvincing, but it's the strength of the team, it's the mentality that they kept at the task right till the 90th minute. That's what football's about.
Yeah, true. I mean, football is about all 90 minutes. You have to be alert throughout the 90 minutes. And, you know, you can dominate the game for the 90 minutes, but if you can't score, you can't win the match.
Free kick in a good position here for Albrechts. Floated in. Easy one there for the goalkeeper. Yes, they don't have their Korean at the moment, Jung Hon-won. Sharul Jantan between the posts. Well, a couple of Home United players felt that was over the top, that challenge on Masreswan.
Must have hurt, yeah.
Yeah, that looked pretty bad. No card early in the game, perhaps. But Masreswan confirmed up top for Home United. Masato Fukui is the other forward. Again, that's a poor delivery.
You can see for the first 3-4 minutes, everybody is being cautious and, you know, not trying to do too much. And sadly, the free kicks and the corner kicks is not working out at the moment. So hopefully they get on their strides and the game open up a little bit more.
Big throw into the box towards Masreswan. Fukui got there first. Here's Kamara in this unfamiliar centre-back role. Castanero wins the ball back. It's an unusual lofted ball forward from Albrechts. They tend to try and pass their way towards the top.
I mean, you can see the Home United intention. They are putting pressure up in the Albrechts half, yeah, and then not giving the defenders time to pick their passes and to start their passing game.
And I think that's what you need to do, right?
Yeah,
You have to just put them off their passing game,
yes.
Close up the spaces.
Because if you allow Albrechts to have the ball and start their passing game around, the players will get comfortable, confident, and that's where they can create space and, you know, kill the team.
Yeah, we saw that in evidence against Warriors last week when they had more than 60% of the ball throughout the game. So far, Home United have managed to negate that. That's a good ball down the middle, but losing control of it. Sofyan. Haven't seen too much of Lee Kuan Woo so far. They're closing down well, Rafi.
Very well. Yeah. They're putting Albrechts under pressure. what the Home United coach is trying to do is just put Albirex team under pressure for as long as possible, and probably bring on Indra, the likes of Indra and Latif, Alif later on to change the game.
A good turn, but the referee spotted a foul. It's Ahmad Akasha, by the way. His assistants Tang Yumun and Ong Chai Lee. But slightly sedated start to this first half. Albirex know a win here will put a little bit of pressure on Tampines. Tampines currently on 31 points. Albirex on 26, but they are level on game, so they need to close that 5-point gap. Camera. Also another player we must talk about that perhaps hasn't been as impressive this season, Jordan Webb.
Yeah, I mean, there's two different Jordan Webb, and the Jordan Webb that plays in Hougang, I think, because I think in Hougang he has got all this free role that he can roam anywhere he wants to, and then whereas in Home United he has got to, you know, do his tactical part in the game, defensive part of the game. So it's a totally different Jordan Webb you see.
Do you prefer him in that free role?
Yeah, I mean, he looks good, and when he was in Hougang, but sometimes I see him when he plays. He's a little bit selfish, you know. He just wants to do what he wants to do. So maybe if he can, with his strength, that he running with the ball, create space for his teammates, and you know, to give that good pass and get the team together, that would be much better for him.
Injury problem at the moment for Albirex Niigata. Having a word with the referee that perhaps something should have been done.
You can see that the pitch looks a little bit slippery.
Yeah, a couple of players have already slipped. I think we had that at the free kick earlier.
Yeah.
It is, of course, regularly watered, isn't it, Rafi? That may add to the problem. Quite happy to keep the pace of the game the way it is, Home United. It's that fast and furious pace that Albirex love to dictate the tempo of play. They haven't done it so far. Also not being able to get into their scoring, into their passing stride just yet. It's a good ball into the path. Masrezwan making that run. He enjoyed that, puts his hand up.
You know, his first touch let him down there.
Saw what Jordan Webb can do. He's got a good eye, hasn't he? Great passing talent. Looks like it'll be Home United's first corner of the game. That's another corner that fails to get past the first defender.
Well, the first 10 minutes, very, very tight game, and we see a lot of missed pass, you know. Bad corner kicks and free kicks.
Cagey encounter here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. Nagasawa trying to wriggle his way through. Very happy just to hold onto the ball, and it almost backfires there. Be a goal kick.
Again, Sejak, like we were talking about just now, the game is very, very tight in midfield, and you know, both teams are closing down each other very, very fast. So you know, it gets very tight there.
Well, fans have been coming in for the S-League matches this season. It's been a good crowd. It's been some excellent football so far. And of course, as we always ask every week, if you fancy coming to watch some pretty good football, do make your way to the Jalan Besar Stadium or to your nearby neighboured stadium and support your team. The free kick here for Home United. Well, he didn't want to take any risks there, the goalkeeper.
It's a good ball into the box, and I just need one of the Home United players to go and attack the ball.
Ogino deciding to punch away. Right decision for you?
Yep. First ball coming in, swerving in. It's not easy for the goalkeeper.
Still loose, haven't cleared their lines here, Albirex. Shot from distance. Camera. Well, he will find it hard to curb his attacking intent because that's the kind of player he is. He'll come forward for all these sorts of balls.
I guess probably there will be some injuries at the back line for Home United, and he's got to slot to that position. But I'm sure, given a chance and opportunity, he would like to go forward.
Yes, Sevki Shaban is the other man who's, of course, not available. He's been a fantastic talent. Lee Lim Seng, who's, well, he's a character, isn't he, Rafi? The coach of Home United. He's, I think, love him or hate him is the way people describe him. Just tends to do things his own way, doesn't he?
I mean, yeah, he's got his own philosophy, and he believes in his philosophy and the football that he wants to play. Every coach has got their own philosophy and ideas of football. But I guess he has done well for Home United. Yeah,
Ismail Yunus, one of the Home United defenders, has got in trouble in the past. He's back in the side, that'll be good. But there are a lot of issues in the background we hear at Home United, and hopefully they will have sorted that out for the rest of the season. Another corner for Home. Trying to get on the break. It's a shot again from distance, and went through a sea of players. It will be another corner.
I think tactically, Home United has got it correct at this moment. Yeah, they're putting pressure on Albirex, and Albirex, 13 minutes, they still can't settle down and get their passing game going. So that will definitely affect them, because I think the only way Albirex know how to play is to play their passing game.
Oh, once again, poor corners.
Yeah. I think for a few corners that we saw, Home United is always going for the near post and getting somebody to attack the near post there. But unfortunately, the delivery wasn't that good.
Well, something they're going to have to work on. In fact, both teams have been quite poor in these corners so far.
Nice to see Ismail Yunus back playing in the S League.
Yes, Singapore international. Do you think he's still got international future ahead of him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's got a good talent, good player, good physique.
Still only 27.
Yeah, but I think it's unfortunate for him. He's been injured for so many times, and I spoke to him the other day. He was quite disappointed, but I think he was really working really hard to get back into the first team. And I'm sure today he has got a point to prove to the coach that he still has it to play in the S League.
Of course, talking of pressing the coach, there is a new man at the helm here of Singapore, who will, I'm sure, will be looking at everyone available. Bernd Stanger, the German, just announced as the new coach of the national team. I'm sure that you've been following that.
Yeah, when I was in Australia with Perth Glory for attachment for 2 weeks, he was the coach there. So probably this Wednesday I'll train a little bit more and make him see me.
Rafi Ali might want to get back into national colours, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this game really hasn't come alive just yet. But as you say, Home United are trying to play a spoiling game.
Yeah.
They're just trying to prevent any kind of rhythm for Albirex.
Yes, because they know once Albirex gets into their rhythm, Albirex will be quite dangerous. It's clear that they are putting Albirex a lot under pressure, and Albirex making a lot of mistakes up, especially at the back there, and couldn't get their passing game going.
One thing we have noted, Rafi, and then I'm sure we'll talk about it in the halftime show, is the lack of a plan B for Albirex. They seem to play only one way.
Yes, I mean, like we were talking just now, like, you know, even though when they play, when they win the ball in midfield, and they have opportunity to just go for the counter, sometimes they still pass the ball around and try to get everybody up into the opponent's half, and then to create space in the opening, which sometimes is not good because you allow the opponent to come back and you know, form the shape. And
you prefer a more direct approach when things.
Yes, sometimes when you have that opportunity, like now, even they have this opportunity.
Once again, they're closing down really well here. Home United. It may not be pretty, but it's effective. Well, you've got to be passing the ball better than that. Gifting it back to Albirex. Hafiz Rahim was the one who gave the ball away there. Someone you've been impressed with, though, generally.
Yeah, a good player, good technique on the football, and he's got a good vision. So midfield, always admired him since his days in Geylang. Oh, okay.
Scrambled away. That almost a mistake there between goalkeeper and defence. Once again, they've done well here, Home United. Jantan on the ball there. Could be goals coming at a premium tonight, the way things are going. Have to work very, very hard here. Great player, Jumal Jantan, Singapore international.
Great servant to the country. Boy who doesn't, I think he speaks very, very little. You know, when you see him, hi, how are you? I'm good. That's all his answer. But yes,
just gets on with the football.
Yeah, and he always gives his 100% on the football pitch.
They're going to take a shot from distance here because they haven't really been able to penetrate that penalty box. It will be another corner for Albirex.
And that's the first shot that they took.
I feel we're going to see a number of long-range efforts today.
Yeah. I think at this moment now, what we need is a goal for the game to open up.
Well, that's the first corner we've seen that actually has hit an intended target, but the header well over.
Yep, he got underneath the ball there.
Home will be very happy with this at the moment. Not really being threatened at all by Albirex, nullifying their attacking intent, but they don't help themselves with passing like that.
Yes, I mean, like first 20 minutes, 18 minutes, it's always, you know, the plow by all these bad passes and bad control.
They've bossed that midfield really well. And that is a credit to Sofyan. To a lesser extent, Lee Kwan Woo. Still haven't seen him do particularly much at this moment. But he's that kind of quality player. You just need to give him the ball once and he could do something magical with it.
But now, problem is he's staying up front with Mas Rizwan, and nobody in midfield can give the ball to him when he comes off the defender. So Home United can utilize that when he's coming off the defenders and get the midfielders to give the ball to him. Maybe he can create something.
Again, another poor exchange of passes. This is the kind of thing that irritates a coach, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Closing down very well at the moment, Home United.
At the moment, both teams can't even, you know, execute 5 passes.
Yeah, we've got to see 5 passes counted out because it really isn't happening at the moment. Picking himself up Jordan Webb, who does get frustrated by these challenges. Again, another wasted ball. Camera, maybe a bit out of position. He'll get back to his centre-half position now as Home United try to press forward attack, and well, it's just been...
Yeah, they did so well pressing Albirex and winning the ball in midfield, and once they win the ball in midfield, they give it away to Albirex again.
I suppose one of the problems with a pressing game, Rafi, is that it's, well, shot again from about 35 yards out. It's just difficult, isn't it, to maintain that the whole way through a game, especially on a pitch like Jalan Besar, this pressing game.
Especially because it's like it is a transition, right? Because you're pressing the game and everybody else is maybe not aware. So once you get the ball, the rest of the players needs to move fast to get the ball. So the players that win the ball pass the ball to the striker.
Hasn't quite worked out for either side yet. This game is in desperate need of a goal. About halfway through this first half, goalless between Home United and Albrechts Niigata. We spoke about Albrechts. They've been in a bit of form. 3 wins on the trot, defeating Balestier Khalsa 1-0. Harimau Muda, and of course the game against Warriors 3-2 last Friday here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. But they're in a bit of form at the moment. Home United, well, they've lost 2 of their last 3. A surprise defeat at Hougang United. They thrashed Woodlands Wellington 3-0, and then, as you said, against DPMM, perhaps they should have done better.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they were very, very unlucky because they played well. They're putting Brunei under a lot of pressure, especially in Brunei. It's not easy to play there, but you know, they were very, very unlucky to lose the match at the last minute.
Yeah, 2 matches in a row they've lost there at the Brunei DPMM ground. Remember, Albrecht scored 3 goals last week, which is the most that they've scored in this entire season. 3 goals. They don't tend to score many goals. That's one of the criticisms of the team.
Yeah. Because their criticism is like, you know, they like to keep possession of the ball, especially when they score 1 goal. They like to slow the game down and try to kill the game.
Yeah, ball to the box, easily cleared away. Ichikawa to Fukuda. Do you think this is frustrating Albrechts at the moment, the pace of this game?
Well, you can see there.
That is Sakamoto. I think he was trying to... Well, I don't know what he was trying to do, actually. He was on a cross shot. The fans are doing their part here to try and liven things up. Not easy so far. Neither keeper has really had to make any saves.
Again, the game is only played in midfield. The battles are only in midfield, so
having to go back here. Again, it's difficult when you're that one man waiting for the ball. I'm not sure we've mentioned Masato Fukui yet tonight. He's just not been able to get any service.
yeah. what both teams needs to do is at this moment. When they are midfield area, they should be playing the ball faster. And I think they tried to do that, but it's overshadowed by bad passing and bad control and stuff. So I think both teams are trying to get forward, but their passing and their controlling of the ball is just letting both teams down at the moment.
I suppose Home United have the luxury of maybe shifting someone like a Camara out from centre-back, putting him into a full-back position where he can attack more, get a bit of width, get a bit of pace down, either the left or right-hand side.
Probably can think of putting Ismail Yunus as a centre-back. He's on the left centre-back, and Masvezan on the right, and put Camara on the left midfield.
They're trying to dribble just around the penalty area, Home United, and risky.
Albirex is doing the same thing to them too, tit for tat, and they're putting pressure on them up on the defensive area.
Well, they're virtually cancelling each other out at the moment. Hafiz Rahman with that pass. Lee Kuan Woo offside. Bit of a stop-start nature to tonight's game. Yeah, clearly offside there. Again, that's a poor pass out of defence, and Albrecht's just about get away with it. Coach Sugiyama will be absolutely furious with this at the moment. Just lacking in discipline, Rafi.
Yeah. I mean, again, like Albirex, they like to play the passing game, right? But when they're under pressure, they find it difficult to get out of the situation there. And I'm sure now that Yama is telling his players to put pressure on the Home United defense too. So that is only good for spectators, because the game will be opened up and there will be a lot of space in midfield.
Well, you can play this game along with us at home if you want to see if you can count 5 passes amongst the team, because at the moment they are both struggling for any sort of rhythm. And to be honest, before we got into this game, Rafi, I would have predicted, I'm sure you would have, that we would see some goals.
Yeah, very exciting game, both end-to-end stuff, but I guess both teams being cautious, and again, another misplaced pass by... And yeah, for the past 28 minutes, it's been overshadowed by all this. Both teams have not settled into their rhythm yet.
Well, I'm afraid that's the kind of opportunities they've had and not really taken. Fukui puts his hand up in apology. We've seen so many of these efforts now, haven't we? There'll be plenty of shots when we look at the stats later, but none of them have been on target. But they're having to resort to that at the moment. There's not much for them going into the penalty area.
It was a hurried shot, because I felt that he has got more time on the ball, and he's got 3 players up there supporting him. He should have, like, tried little 1-2s or put the ball to the side for a cross in.
Again, just not holding on to that ball. When we look at Home United this season, 6 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats. They've scored 20 goals. Which is the 3rd highest in the league. They've conceded 11. You look at Albrecht Nagata, 8 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats, scored 17 goals, which is the lowest in the top 4. In fact, you'd have to go down to 6th placed Balestier to see a team that scored less goals than they have. And they've conceded the same number of goals as Home United, 11. So they do struggle a little bit in front of goal. Very apparent here. Something a little bit different, a willingness to take some players on. That leads to a corner. That's a bit more like it from Jordan.
That's Jordan Webb for you, when he has the ball at his feet, he can do wonders. And I think we need more from him to do this. attacking the defenders, taking on the defenders to get the crosses in.
So corner then for Home United.
Hopefully we see a good corner now.
Yes, we haven't seen one yet. It's just past the half-hour mark here at the Jalan Besar Stadium. Well, it's gone deeper this time. The goalkeeper got a good hand onto it. This is what he's very good at doing, Kamara. He'll go to the byline. Expect better delivery from him.
Very unlucky, you know, because he's a left-footed player, yeah. But again, we will see. It's nice to see players taking on the defenders and stuff and getting on the byline, and that is what Kamara did and put Albirek's defense into a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of time and space. They expected better from him. It's quite interesting, Rafi, because before the game, the general manager of Albirex Niigata had said, Mr. Komuiti had said they'd be playing a very patient game. Would they be just trying to draw Albirex, create a bit of space perhaps?
Yeah, I think their game plan is just to keep possession and get their rhythm going and, you know, killing the tempo for the Home United squad and probably to just keep them going and get into their rhythm and try to get the one odd goal that they are so known for.
There's an aerial ball towards the box, and that created a few issues. The direct approach coming through, and the goalkeeper having a problem there, Ogino. This ball created all kinds of issues, Rafi.
Yeah. And plus, Jalan Besar Stadium, you know, it's not nice to fall that way. It's really a bad fall for the goalkeeper.
But maybe that's the way, a ball into the box where the keeper and the defenders are not sure, a more direct approach. Home United have not been playing pretty much a passing, pressing game so far.
Home United is, well, tactically, defensively, they're doing well. They're putting the Albirex team under pressure, especially in midfield. But again, like what we said before, when they win the ball, you know, they're quite slow going forward. So probably this ball, you know, long and hopeful ball will create some problem for the Albirex defense.
Ogino's okay, but Rafi, I'm sure you've had a couple of tumbles on the Jalan Besar surface. It hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's really, really hard because it's artificial pitch and, you know, it's not like the soil where you fall. You know, when you slide on this pitch, it really burns you.
Sugiyama, the coach of Albirex, apparently playing a patient game. He's looking pretty patient at the moment, but of the two teams, it's Home United have probably just edged it so far.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're going forward and they're putting a lot of pressure on Albirex in midfield.
Still looking for a little bit of quality in and around the penalty area for both sides. No real chances yet in this game.
I would love to see Lee Kwan Woo coming a little bit off the striker and getting the ball from the midfielders and, you know, just staying into in that hole. Because I think when he's in that position, he's a very dangerous player.
Yeah, a bit advanced at the moment in his role, and he's not had enough of the ball.
At the moment, we are seeing that they are playing, Home United is playing a 4-4-2 formation with two strikers up front with Lee and Bans Rizwan up there.
Yes, Jordan Webb has the occasional flash as well. But even he has not really gotten to this game.
Well, one thing good about this game now, we see at least more than 5 passes now done by Albirex in the opponent's half.
It's taken us 35 minutes, I think, to get here. Really a long, long time.
They're getting into their rhythm, they're getting into their strides. Finding the whole space in front of the defense there.
Slightly better for Albirex. In about 10 minutes time or so, we'll analyse what's been going on in this match alongside Kelly Latimer. Not sure how much there is to analyse in this game so far, but we'll make the most of it. Of course, we'll go through the highlights as well. Again, might be quite a short highlight reel from what we've seen. Still can't recall a decent shot on goal. You compare Home United this season to last season, Rafi.
Yeah.
And the season before, of course, they just missed out. Last season, Home United, they finished a disappointing 5th. Do you think that maybe we're seeing the decline of this club a little bit? Or just going through a transition phase?
Yeah, I think last year they were going through a transition phase, and I know they don't have the players that they wanted, and and there's a lot of injuries in the team and internal problems with the clubs and stuff like that. But I think this year they have done well. They've got bringing players like Nur Rahman in, Indra Shadan, and Alif there. So I know these players, especially Indra and Alif, they are a player that you can count on, to make changes in the game or to just change the game. And so, and in the beginning of the season, they didn't do so well, yeah? They were, a few losses and stuff like that, but slowly getting into their strides, and I think they are more settled now. They are getting their game going. And I'm pretty sure today, looking at how the coach is forming the team, pressing the Albirex defense in their defensive half, I'm sure he's going for the 3 points today. But I'm also sure that he's going to admit that this first half, both teams are let down by their passes and their bad control. But I'm sure the players will want to do better in the second half.
Albirex still unable to get into that rhythm we're so used to seeing. This ground is so conducive for them as well to pass around. Yeah. It's the perfect surface for them, but
Home United players are not making things easy for them.
And that is a credit to Home United. They've done their job.
Yes. I would love to see Jordan Webb get more of the ball, because he's giving a lot of problem on the left back of Albirex, yeah. And there's a few occasions that he has got one up against the players. And I think he knows that as well. That's why he's asking for the ball and he's moving to get past the defenders.
And we talk about Jordan Webb, who's supremely talented, and then the other player for Albirex who hasn't really gotten to the game, Bruno Castanheira, Brazilian-born Japanese player, just not being given enough time on the ball. Well, the noise has picked up here in the last couple of minutes, so let's hope it spurs on the players. Big throw into the box here. Chance here for the shot, and it's the first Newell effort. It's a good save from the reserve goalkeeper, we have to call him. Finally an effort, and he's hurt himself in the process, Ogino. Hafiz Rahim with the shot. What a chance.
Yeah. I mean, a good save by the goalkeeper there, but Hafiz Rahim has got a second chance on it, but he lost his balance there. Tried to put the ball back to Guardian.
I'm just trying to see where the goalkeeper Ogino would have hurt himself. But that's been the best chance, if not the only chance of the game so far. Finally, a shot on target. It's well saved by the keeper. I think some of these guys will be in action sooner rather than later to help out their teammates. Only one out-and-out forward in their ranks, Yoshinaga Arima. Looking at Home United, they've got Indra, as you said, Alif Shafain as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both these players will play a part somewhere in the second half of the game. think what the Home United coach will do in the second half is to put Lee back into midfield, probably put Indra up there.
Who do you think will make way?
Probably, yeah, Sufyan Ahmad, because Sufyan Ahmad is there to just do the defensive job and allowing Hafiz to go forward. And I think if coach wants to get the 3 points in the second half, he'll try to go forward and maybe take him out and put Hafiz and Lee in midfield.
I'm sure we'll discuss that as well in the halftime show, but what kind of changes we could anticipate. Do stick around when the first 45 come to a close in a few minutes' time. Lukui with his shock of red hair, can't miss him. But I'm afraid we have missed him for most of this game because he just hasn't been able to get involved as much. Now, good error here for this free kick. Whipped in. Oh, it's made its way through. And just as this first half comes to a close, it's been gasping for a goal. We finally have one. Now, is it Lee Kwan Woo? Everyone's going up to the Korean. Has he scored yet another goal for his club? His 7th of the season, perhaps. Well, they all seem convinced it's him.
Again, we talk about his quality. He knows the free kick is in a very, very good position, and he knows all he needs to do is just to get the ball into that dangerous area. And with just a slight touch, the ball will go in, and it's so apparent that it misses everybody. And
no one gets a touch on that, I don't think.
Kamara tried to.
Well, do you blame the goalkeeper for that, or was it just too congested?
Kamara was trying to, and he was putting the goalkeeper off.
At the near post, that they always say that's the worst way to go, but you don't think you can blame too much on the goalkeeper there, Ogino?
Yeah, because the ball is coming in sudden speed and it's coming in at a dangerous area. And with players coming into his area, it blinds the goalkeeper up.
That is Lee Kwan Woo's 7th goal of the season. And it's the highest scoring Asian in the S League at the moment, showing that quality. We were looking for some quality from him. It took a moment of magic, finally, to break the deadlock. And on the balance of play, Rafi, you'd have to say that's deserved.
Yeah, that's deserved. And now you can see them, Home United now trying to get the ball going now, and I think it boosts their confidence up.
Here's Kamara now, who's hugging that byline.
You're talking about Bruno Cesar. I mean, he's not in the game at all because every time he has got the ball, Home United players are very, very fast on him.
Well, I think we've got to take a hat off there to Lee Lim Seng, who's played this absolutely spot on so far, the tactics.
And he will be a very happy coach going into the game with halftime with a 1-0 lead. And pretty sure he'll tell the boys to keep on going for the next 20 minutes in the second half to put Albirex under pressure. And we see a problem from the goalkeeper right now.
Yeah, Ogino has had problems throughout this game. Remember, he's not really been playing an active part so far. Hiroaki Hara has been the coach, the goalkeeping coach, who then became the first choice keeper, the 35-year-old. But a couple of mistakes in that last game against Warriors perhaps has cost him his place. He's on the bench, so he may well have to come on at half-time. And it's a shame, isn't it, for Ogino? You just break into the team today, and then you may have to miss out. Oh, he's got to go. Yeah. That's it. Don't think it had anything to do with the goal, but here's another look at it again. He slid across, and maybe as he fell earlier as well, I think there was a chance. Then he was just hit his hand against the post. Same side as earlier when the shot from Hafiz Rahim came in. But that's a another setback for the club, and then forced substitution just before half-time.
But I'm sure Hiroki will want to redeem himself after a bad game that he played last week.
We have 2 minutes of added time, but that will be added on to, I'm sure. He has looked distinctly uncomfortable for the last 20 minutes or so. He pulled off a good save off Hafiz Rahim.
I think that fall that he had really affected his game.
Being stretchered off shortly. Well, it's bad enough that they're not immediately lifting him onto the stretcher, which is also a bit of a concern. Taking a long time to make sure they get this right, so it could be a rib injury.
Well, let's just hope it's not too bad.
Third time I think he's had to stop the game because of the keeper, Ogino. Well, this is obviously pretty serious. They're waiting for him to be absolutely ready to get off the ground. He doesn't want to get up. He's obviously in a lot of pain here. The fans being very considerate and patient so far. We've already had the 2 minutes of added time. The good news is they've finally managed to get him onto the stretcher. Now, here are the couple of times where he fell over. This was the first one. I think this is probably the most painful, the jarring fall there. That's probably what started it.
Yeah. Probably you're right, so that probably he's hurt his ribs, so it's back there. Yeah.
His right shoulder also took a pounding, and the crowd giving him fitting farewell there. That's good to see. All good sportsmanship at the Jalan Besar Stadium. So he makes his way off via the stretcher. Ogino. And he's back between the sticks again. Hiroaki Hara dropped for just 45 minutes. I'm sure he would not like to be back in the team in these circumstances, but he'll have to make the most of his reprieve here.
At 35, I'm sure he's a very experienced goalkeeper and who will want to redeem himself. He's got a point to prove to the coach, to tell the coach that, yeah, I'm good enough for the team.
Halftime show coming up very shortly indeed. Interesting to see how both coaches will approach the second half. So Ahmad Akasha calls time on the first 45, which was lacking in any real quality for a long period. Both sides negating each other. Home United perhaps just edging things. A half chance from Hafiz Rahim. Well saved, but right at the end, this man, Lee Kuan Yew, the man of the moment, with a free kick that slipped into the near post. And at halftime then at the Jalan Besar Stadium, it's Home United 1, Albirex Niigata 0. Stay with us. Halftime show coming up after the break. Yeah, it was an odd one, wasn't it, Rafi? Because it took a long time to get going, and these are the sorts of half chances that we saw, but nothing really was created.
Yeah, like what you said is that I know there's no problems for the goalkeeper, and they didn't have any difficult save to make, except for the last one before the goal that Hafiz Rahim tried the volley, and that's about that. But the game is all played in midfield, and battles in midfield, loose passing, and have shots from outside the penalty area, and that's about that. The first half, it was all about that.
Well, we saw a lot of long-range efforts from outside the box. Was that because it was very tight in front of them?
Yeah, and then when you see them attacking, especially like talking about Albirex, when you see them going forward, you only see about 1 or 2 players up there. So it's very difficult to go forward against 5 or 6 defenders. You look at them, two Albirex players with 6 Home United players pressing them. So it's very difficult to go forward. So in order to have overcome this problem, they will take shots from outside the penalty area.
Not only were they trying to take a lot of shots from outside the penalty area, but they were just also lacking in quality. Now, this was a key moment in the game.
Yeah.
Nothing really came out of the actual chance, but it's what happened to the goalkeeper that we had problems with.
Yeah, I think he had a very nasty fall, and plus we were talking about the pitch at Jalan Besar. It's really hard down there, and the way he fell, I think it's hurt his ribs or his arms, and that affected his game.
This was the best chance, of course, before we had the goal. Hafiz Rahim, only real opportunity any team had, and at a pretty close distance. You've got to give credit to the keeper.
Yeah, I mean, he did a great save, but I think he has got a problem because when he went for the save and he fell, then he went down again. I think he's not comfortable falling. I think there's some pain there.
Well, this was the goal that somehow managed to find its way to the back of the net. There were a lot of people in the way. I think Kamara tried to get ahead on it, and it was unsighted for the keeper.
Yeah, like I said, we were talking about Lee, his quality as a player. He knows that he's had a free kick in a very dangerous area, dangerous position.
So let's have a look at the stats in this game so far. 2 shots to 1, and that's pretty much accurate on goal. And 4 off target for Home United, 3 for Albirex. Plenty of corners so far for Home in particular, and not much to separate them between the 2 sides, of course, in possession. But it's 1-0 at the moment to Home United, thanks to Lee Kwan Woo.